When we don't allow our kids to make their own decisions and we don't show that we have confidence in them or trust them to make their own decisions, then they actually don't have confidence in themselves to make their own decisions. Welcome back to part 2 of my 3-part series, Am I Fucking Up My Kids? This week, I'm going to talk about something that pertains a little more to teens and tweens, so older kids. And this is called Be the Supporting Actor, Not the Director. And this is super important when it comes to building a strong connection with older kids, especially as they become teenagers, because they have different needs and relating to them is a little bit more difficult. There's a reason why there's the term teenage angst. You know, kids start to rebel. They want to find themselves. They don't want to be around their parents as much. And it can be hard to relate to them because a lot of times they think you're annoying or they argue with everything you say. But deep down, they still need you. And in fact, they need you more than ever, just as much as they needed you when they were real little, just in a different way. Here's what I mean about being the supporting actor, not the director. We want to refrain from trying to tell them what to do, give them advice, or here's the most important one, trying to prevent them from getting hurt, trying to prevent them from making a mistake, because the reality is we can't prevent them from getting hurt. They are human, and part of the human experience is making mistakes, getting hurt, being broken up with, having problems with friends. This is all normal parts of being a kid and a teenager, and this is how we learn and grow. So one of the things that I see happening a lot with parents is when you had something happen to you as a teenager, or say in middle school, you were bullied a lot or you had a lot of problems with friends, that trauma or that wounding could get triggered when you see your child going through something similar. And what happens is you have this automatic response where you want to try to prevent that from happening to your child because you're still carrying it, you still feel hurt in some way. And the idea that they would have to go through that, it actually triggers your wounding. It picks on that scab and it makes you afraid of experiencing it all over again. So then what you do is you try to prevent that from happening by trying to tell them what to do, getting overly involved in the situation, trying to fix it or solve it for them. But what that ends up doing is pretty much just pushing them away even further, making them probably do the opposite of what you say. And also what happens is when we don't allow our kids to make their own decisions and we don't show that we have confidence in them or trust them to make their own decisions, then they actually don't have confidence in themselves to make their own decisions. And when we show that we trust them to do the right thing, to make good decisions, then they trust themselves and they have confidence in themselves and they won't be as wishy-washy. They'll trust themselves and they'll show up to life with more confidence in who they are, the decisions they make, what they want, and they won't constantly be looking to other people to validate them, give them permission, or tell them that they're doing the right thing. So this is really, really important. So if you find yourself wanting to be the director and not the supporting actor, look at why. And I have a journaling prompt for you around this and some breath work for you to do, because the more you can address what's actually happening for you, instead of just trying to control them, then you're gonna be able to show up with a lot more presence and you're gonna be able to be the supporting actor. And what I mean by the supporting actor is you are present. You support them. You tell them what you see, you tell them like, oh, I went through something like this, or it sounds like this person isn't treating you right, or whatever it is, but you don't try to force your perspective or what you would do onto them. You hold space, you listen, you reflect their emotions back to them. You literally just create a safe space where they trust that they can lean in talk about what's going on, and you're not going to try to fix it. You're not going to judge them. You're just going to listen, and you're going to validate their experience. And through that, their nervous system relaxes, they start to regulate, and then they realize that this thing that's happening, yeah, it might suck, yeah, it might be annoying, but ultimately they're safe, and they have a safe space to come back to every day and each night where they can lean in and know that they're going to be held no matter what's going on out there. And that again creates a space inside of them of confidence and trust. And it's going to create an ability to move through emotions and regulate themselves more quickly because you showed them how to regulate through holding that space for them. So if you have a teenager or a tween and you find yourself battling with them, or they're going through something hard and you keep trying to support them, but either they're not listening to you or they get mad at you or it seems like nothing's working, I want you to do this journaling prompt. And it is: what fear or pain did I go through that I want to save my child from going through? And you might not know the answer to that, and you can use this one of two ways. You can just start stream of consciousness writing, or you can use the breathwork to release trauma from the body that I have on my playlist and just see what comes up, and then do the journaling prompt after that. Either way, you're gonna get some really good information as to what's going on underneath the surface that's making your relationship with your child feel contentious, or that what is stressing you out about it, or what's making it hard. And you'll be able to take responsibility and process your own emotions, so then you'll have more space and more capacity to be that supporting actor in their lives. I'd love to hear how this landed for you, if you tried it and what happened. If you have questions about your specific situation, you can leave them in the comments. But I'm telling you, this is something that I have helped hundreds of people with kids this age work through and create different relationships with their kids. So you just have to keep going, take responsibility for your own feelings, ask, what is your child reflecting back to you? And then do that work within yourself so that you can show up from a place of support, connection, presence, safety, love, and care, and help them walk through the emotions that they're feeling that you maybe didn't get support when you were a child. And then it breaks the cycle, and they end up showing up more confident, more healthy, and making good decisions in their own lives, and your relationship with them will get a lot better. Hopefully this was helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and make sure you comment below, especially if it resonates with you.